We found it quite hard writing this new record. Writing on the road in the back of a tour bus, there were definitely lots of moments where it all felt like it, there was a big panic and nothing was really coming out. That was a source of quite a lot of stress, but in the end it just all kind of came together. Atlantic is a song that I never thought was going to be that amazing, but as soon as Richard was doing the sort of weird stuff with the drums and playing it all kind of it's kind of it's hard to explain, isn't it? But it's all kind of, it's not, the drums aren't quite in like conventional places where the beats would normally fall, and it just made for this incredible sound. And that song now is a piece of music that we're incredibly proud of.
Doesn't seem natural for some reason. It's just weird. There's something weird there. Will be lit.
That was ahead then.
You will be lit.
It's a bit pushy. It needs to be. Okay.
Was that right?
Whatever, really.
Well, how I just sang it was right.
Okay.
Just then, is that right? Will be.
You see that? Yeah, it's pushed. I think it's closer to being on the beat.
My tears will be red.
That feels good like that. It's slightly pushed. And because there's nothing else really going on there, apart from the Rhodes is obviously being a bit rhythmic, but you've got the license to pull it around a bit. It's just where it feels comfortable. Yeah.
Easier said than done.
I think we've really felt, and I think we've, a lot of our friends and people around us feel that this is a kind of a pretty mixed up kind of period in the history of humanity, and it's very hard, I think, for our generation to kind of really know exactly what to feel and what to think a lot of the time. I mean, whether it's politically or in terms of your friends and your partners or your family, whatever it is, in every kind of aspect of my life, I kind of have a sense of kind of fear and doom.
Like Tom said, it's like there's this sort of big. It's like there's somebody standing behind you, but you're not allowed to look round. And I think, and it's really unsettling. And I think just on a personal level. Because whether you're worrying about what car to drive or whether to have children or I don't know what, there's 1,000 different things and nobody really talks about it.
That kind of feeling of fear and of doom is definitely something that has kind of informed a lot of the songs, and a lot of the kind of sound and atmosphere of the record. It's got that sort of sense that there's a big dark cloud, hanging over us, and what's going to happen next.
Yeah,
What was that?
Called Try Again, which, as you can tell, I don't know what key it's in.
Well, how did the lyrics go?
You can listen to it on CD if you want.
I'm listening to you play it.
Well, I'm not going to sing it for you. I'm very shy. This is the first time we've made an album where we've been writing songs all in one go, pretty much. You know, the songs from the first album were written over about 3 years or something. I think it will be hard, because now we've got a whole load of other external pressures as well.
We're going to listen to those demos.
I'm going to pop it on. This will be Is It Any Wonder first.
This is my first hear of it, isn't it?
It is. I actually feel very good about everything at the moment, because I've had a very sort of dark period of feeling that I couldn't write very well, and now I feel that I have been writing quite well for the last few weeks. Our instincts are something that we've kind of learned, I suppose, over many years of being involved with music and the music industry and the whole process of being in a band. Pretty much every time we do something against our instincts, it turns out to be the wrong thing to do.
We wanted to have songs that were about where we are now and what we're feeling, and just to have that opportunity to kind of let everything that was inside us kind of bubbling up, you know, just let it all come out and make a new record and have a whole new kind of set of things and feelings to kind of talk about. I think that's why Under the Iron Sea just sort of is just this kind of world of kind of pent up emotions that sort of just burst out onto the record. It's definitely the sound of a band, you know, desperate to kind of express everything they were feeling at the time.
That's just a song called Put It Behind You. That's just the riff, piano riff from the chorus.
Is that what you're thinking of in terms of, is that the sound you're going to get?
Well, I'm trying to get something along those lines. I like some of the sounds on the first album. I mean, obviously we've heard those songs rather a lot over the last 12 months. In fact, over the last 2 years, really, so I'm quite looking forward, well, I think we're all quite looking forward to a bit of a change of sonic territory. Well, our first album is quite polished in places. Everything is kind of in the right place where it should be. It's quite tidy. You know, there's no mistakes. So it's quite an epic sound. It's quite big. You know, and that's good because it kind of suits the songs. That can sometimes mean that you're in danger of losing the kind of heart of the song in some way. In a way, it's a question of cutting out anything that's going to stand between the listener and that sensation of really feeling the song.
There are no half measures really with this record, so there's no point in sort of denying that it's pretty kind of different and you know, trying to kid people into thinking it's just sort of Hopes and Fears Mark T, because we don't really want to do that anyway. But we hope that our fans will come with us on the journey that we're making, you know, because otherwise they'll just get bored, and so will we.
Let's try again.
This list has basically all the songs that aren't on the kind of keepers list.
What's Barcelona's song?
that's just something that it's kind of quite a rocking song that I haven't finished lyrics for, although I was just writing some in the car on the way down here this morning, and it's just a demo I wrote in Barcelona.
What lyrics are you writing this morning?
I can't tell you that.
Just give me a snippet. One word.
Crystal.
Crystal Ball definitely, because it deals with all those kind of feelings of fear and sort of, the feeling that you're kind of so kind of worthless that you're about to kind of disappear. And so I think lyrically it's definitely very powerful for me, but also just as a song to sing live. I mean, it's acrobatic, and it definitely kind of stretches me just about as far as I can go vocally, which is great. I think Tim, he probably sat there writing it thinking he's really going to find that bit quite difficult.
We're in New York. We're on Crosby Street, Magic Shop Recording Studios.
How long have you been here?
We've been in New York, I don't know, about a week, I think. We've been playing some gigs with you two at Madison Square Gardens. You have the brolly, Ed, don't worry.
Where are you going, Tim? Take me around the studio.
Well, not much to it.
Do you like the vibe here?
I do, yeah. Wish we were staying a bit longer, really.
Is the sound getting there? You getting that rawness you speak of?
Yes.
Make myself good. Do you think that more kind of Bruce Springsteen-y kind of Bon Jovi vibe would be good, Tim?
I'm sure Bruce Springsteen would be honoured to be for that to be considered an impression of him.
I love these mics. I think they're good. It's been good to sing with this last couple of years.
After all the misery, man, is it any wonder that I feel afraid? Is it any wonder that I feel betrayed?
Yeah, it definitely sounds uplifting.
Was it a bit too over the top in the verse?
I think the way you went into the first verse then was as good as you've ever done it.
The choruses sound really good and rock, and they sound like they belong in the song. I feel like the verses are still sort of getting there a bit. Well, that as a song started off being a kind of strokesy thing. I think the lyrics kind of made it mutate a bit into something a bit less kind of cool and laid back, and it turned it into something a bit angrier and more spiky. There's a great sense of our generation starting to sincerely worry that we're not really contributing anything very, very good to the kind of global community, and actually the society that we're a part of, which we've always thought of as being a power for good, is actually perceived by half the world as being a power for evil. Trying to work out how you're expected to respond to these things. Who are you supposed to believe, and what are you supposed to think as a kind of intelligent thinking group of people? I think a lot of people of our age are really struggling with answering those questions. So that's what the song is about.
I always thought that I knew
I really like. There were a few bits in that where you sort of tailing off at the end of words, pitch-wise, like "Feel Afraid." I think that's really cool.
At the end of those "Feel Afraid," the next line after that, you regularly linger too long on the "afraid" and come in late at the start of the line after that.
Yeah,
Is it?
it's a bit like Bob Dylan.
And that feels a bit
Hey!
weird.
You're doing it a lot in the second. You're doing it a little bit in the second verse as well. I was wondering if it was an interesting thread to follow.
Okay.
It just sounds really sort of swaggering and, you know,
Yeah.
it's quite cool. Very cool, actually.
All these days, after all the misery made, is it any wonder that I feel afraid? Is it any wonder that I feel betrayed? Nothing left beside this old cathedral, just the sad, lonely spires. How do you make it right? It's exhausting seeing this stuff.
Is the band getting on alright?
Yeah, very good actually. Yeah, it's been a good tour. We're trying to make it, you know, give ourselves more things to do together and more fun things. The schedule hasn't been so hectic, so everyone's got along a lot better.
It is sounding
Yeah.
really good.
It does sound really good, and I think it's worth. If we didn't feel like it was exciting or wasn't quite happening, then we'd knock it on the head now. But it sounds good.
Make it feel. Come rain, come shine.
And on the last tour, I think I was working on this one on summer tour of America.
It's another song about you getting spat out, isn't it?
Well, kind of. Yeah. One of my
Who are these
favourites.
women who keep treating you so badly?
Well, it's more about
Yeah, I'm gonna.
friendship. Mastered the camera at last.
What were you saying?
Just say that last bit again.
In the heat of interview, it's about to get some gold. Possibly not gold, though.
Yeah, I'm likely to get any gold from my head. Sounding good.
Sounding very good. Good. Very exciting.
It's going to be a good one.
Good.
Phil Ritchie.
Sweaty. That was an extraordinary thing. I don't know where Tim gets these things from, these stupid ideas for drum parts. You get a demo through and he goes, oh. Yeah, so I just want to sort of do that really. And it's just some insane drum part. And he's like, okay, how am I going to do that?
Lay myself down to make it so you don't want to know. You take much more than I ever asked for. Baby, I'll try again, baby, I die.
What are you doing, Tim?
Sorry?
What are you doing?
Playing the harmonium. You're going to be the new Ed.
Yeah.
Bad Dream, I think, is the most kind of emotional song on the record. The song was partially inspired by a poem by W.B. Yeats, which is called An Irish Airman Foresees His Death, and it's about a pilot just sort of kind of flying up in the clouds and sort of looking back down on the lines and just thinking, you know, what what the hell am I doing here? You know, almost sort of, I'm not fighting for something that I care about, and I'm not fighting against people that I hate. We've just done about 3 weeks of rehearsing, and it's all sounding really great actually. It was a bit shaky to start with. Essentially we've got the same setup of just the drums and my electric piano and Tom singing away, but we've twisted it and manipulated it. We've just kind of used all the technology we can get our hands on to reproduce the sounds on the record basically. You know, there's loads of effects going on. My piano's going into all these effects pedals, and Tom's playing a bit more. We're all singing, lots of kind of 3-part harmonies and stuff. So, you know, so there's always new things that when there's only 3 of you, you have to constantly be trying to do new things and find new ways of making this big sound with just 3 of us. This record, more than the first one, it was a process of all of us kind of confronting our fears and, you know, working through all these things lyrically that were quite kind of painful, and really pouring everything about ourselves into making the music. So it's a real kind of visceral, thrilling thing. I think with this record, we've been sort of living in those songs, the 3 of us, you know, for the last year or so. And they're so kind of completely and utterly sort of personal to the 3 of us, and so real, you know, for us. The kind of original bond that sort of got us together is really music, you know, and a dream. And you know, I think with Under the Iron Sea, we've kind of realised that again, you know, and it's great to sort of come through fighting. For a lonely soul, you're having such a